So the conflict between the US and Iran is really heating up, and it's not just happening over there. It's actually being fought on three pretty distinct fronts, with these high-stakes ultimatums, with actual missiles in the skies over the Middle East, and now, in a really surprising turn, right here on American soil. So let's break it all down.
And really, it all kicked off with this incredibly blunt warning from then President Trump. I mean, this is a message that left absolutely no room for interpretation, and it really set the stage for everything that was about to follow.
Okay, so first up, the ultimatum. And this wasn't some quiet diplomatic note passed between embassies. No, this was a very public, very high-stakes deadline issued right from the White House. And get this, the clock started ticking with just a 10-day deadline. The demand? Iran had to give up its control over the Strait of Hormuz, which, as you know, is an absolutely critical artery for the entire global oil supply. The threat was explicit: fail to comply, and you will face severe consequences. Well, as you can probably guess, that war of words quickly escalated. It turned into a battle of claims, a battle of narratives, fought in the skies over the region. And here's where we see a major disconnect between the official story and what was actually happening. The U.S. claim was that Iranian air defenses were, quote, obliterated. But on the ground, reports were showing that those exact same systems were successfully hitting American aircraft. Now, this wasn't just an intelligence failure. This was a direct challenge to the long-held idea of U.S. air superiority in the region. And I mean, just look at the specifics of the damage here. We're talking about a missing pilot, downed search and rescue helicopters, and hits on advanced fighter jets like the F-15 and the tough-as-nails A-10 Warthog. These aren't just statistics on a slide. Each one of these represents a successful Iranian strike. It was a significant and really effective challenge to American air power. Now, for Iran, this was a massive win, both for propaganda and for strategy. An Iranian spokesperson credited a new defensive system. But, the real victory wasn't just about the hardware. It was about shattering that American narrative of open skies. The idea that the U.S. could fly unchallenged anywhere it wanted in the region. This was a huge boost for morale back home. But here's the twist. The conflict didn't stay overseas. It unexpectedly opened a third front. And this time, it wasn't with missiles, but with legal action, right here on U.S. soil. So the weapon of choice on this new domestic front? Green card revocations. The U.S. State Department began targeting the legal residency of people living in America who just happened to have family ties to powerful figures in Iran, all under the justification of national security. And a very clear pattern, almost like a playbook, quickly emerged. First, the State Department revokes the green card. Then, the consequence follows swiftly. Either the FBI arrests the person or that person leaves the country on their own. It's a direct, unambiguous one-two punch of a strategy. Make life in the U.S. impossible for anyone with connections to the Iranian government. And make no mistake, this was not random. Just look at the targets, family members of incredibly high-profile figures, like the late Commander Qassem Soleimani. His relatives were actually arrested in Los Angeles, accused of actively supporting the Iranian government. And in another case, the family of a prominent official, Ali Larijani, left the country after facing similar pressure. The message couldn't be clearer. Even family connections are now part of the battlefield. So where does this leave us? Well, the battlefield has expanded from diplomatic threats to aerial combat and now to legal maneuvers happening inside the United States. Each new front just adds another layer of complexity, and that makes both escalation and de-escalation trickier than ever. The really chilling question isn't just if this conflict will escalate further, but where. Where will the next unpredictable front open up?